Good morning and welcome back to Bologna Invite. This is the first game of the day in the mixed division. My name is Ali Thomas. I am joined here by T Mombo and we are watching Cesky Discus from France taking on leftovers from the Czech Republic. Morning T, how are you doing?
Good morning Ali, and good morning to all the Frisbee folk out there, fans and others alike. We are here in sunny Bologna. It is a breezy day, not too much wind, started off a bit cold, but quite calm conditions. The first pool's just gone up with Sesquidistus on defence.
So starting bang on time, we have leftovers in the yellow, Sesquidistus in the blue, and we had a roly pull that's going to be walked to the front of the end zone. Looks like a horizontal setup, and they're off. And wow, nearly a turn to start the day, but somehow Brandstetter manages to hang on, shoots to the middle, and there it is, the first D of the game, battered to the floor by Montbourget, and an early break opportunity for Sesquidistus.
What a way to start the day, start the morning. Action in the first point.
Both teams clearly had their coffee. Maybe Sesquidistus was a little bit stronger, and they're docking and weaving at the front of the end zone. He's got a wide open throw, but a pick called. Looks like René was just cutting through the stack a little bit. Leftovers defender getting tangled up slightly. So starting from static, Michaud on the disc now. He's got a couple of options. Looks to dump. And she's up the line and free as a bird, but it's an overthrow to Saint-Jean, and that was some incredible speed up the line and free as a bird. She just roasts her player,
it's an overthrow
too far in front. So leftovers with another chance to hold their offense.
Leftovers coming in the 3-4.
Yep, same initiation play once again to Brandstetter. And it's a big one going up. It's coming in at an awkward angle and it just bounces off the feet of Karolina Zelenska.
Yeah, that one kind of split the difference.
And it's a big one going up. It's coming in at an awkward
and the sun
angle,
is also,
it's
right behind us, so any throws that are coming in sort of at that angle are going to have the added difficulty of being hard to read and also the sun right in your eyes. So another turn. Sesquidistus on an end zone line, shooting, I want to say downwind, but as we've seen on this pitch, the wind can swell. Oh, and a cheeky scuba to Saint-Jean.
Sesquidistus coming out in a 2-5 vertical stack, cuts coming from the back, 59 getting very free.
Montbourget with a very short range flick dump. And a big gainer up the field, going for another big gainer. Oh, but just not able to be kept in by Le Verdure.
The line and it wasn't quite there.
Yeah, just a little bit too far out. So not the cleanest of starts to this game. Both teams, this is a fight for the top of the pool. Both teams have beaten, have beaten Monkey. And I think have beaten Catch Up as well. No, I'm wrong. I think we'll get back to you on the exact results later. But this is for the top of the pool.
Lovely inside flick there, led the receiver perfectly. Disc going up and wayward and errant. So we will have Sesquidistus back on the pitch, coming out in that vertical stack.
Both teams struggling to thread more than a few passes together at the moment. And we've got Saint-Jean heading deep. She has certainly got a burst. Look, she can absolutely just roast her defender under, goes to ground to keep the disc alive. Not being given a lot of options by her teammates. Woof. After a couple of steps, Michon gets the disc underneath. He's got Saint-Jean under. He's looking for the dump behind instead. Oh, it's up and it's down. Unfortunately, Laverdure again not able to keep the disc up.
He's looking for the dump behind instead. Oh, it's up and it's
opening up in lots of space with that deep cut, attracting help, allowing unders to come through, but unfortunately unable to retain possession. So we've got leftovers here, initiating from the handler up the line. It's been working for them well so far, but let him slightly astray there.
Yep, so we'll have another throw and another turn. This is a completion. Shot to the end zone. There we go, the first point, and it is scored by a player who's not given us their number. So that is a hold for leftovers. Not the cleanest. I think we had 5 turnovers each there, but eventually a goal.
Brandstetter there taking charge.
Another throw and another turn.
This nonsense. Take this. Gets the
This is a completion. Shot to the end zone.
Down,
there we go, the first point, and it is scored.
Brandstetter, and what a way to get this game started.
Yeah, so I think both teams maybe a little bit of early morning kind of jitters, feeling each other out. There is quite a lot riding on this game if they want to kind of continue through to the semis and the finals. So we will see whether they can clean it up, whether one team is going to clean up faster than the other, and what is going to happen. So a low pull from leftovers. And it looks like we will have All Salon walking towards the disc. He's got Monet set up in the dump space.
And they're coming out with a side stack with one in the lane, opening up. Disc goes up. Can he read it? He does indeed. Number 16 on the front of the end zone.
Petito finds number 82. She's got an open cut but looks it off, and another one. Must be time to dump now. And Shen, stall count must be very high, and indeed a stall count is called. And it looks like she is not contesting it, so the disc is a turnover either way. But it's just a matter of where the disc will be.
Stall count must be very high, and indeed a stall count is called.
End zone defense there from leftovers, not giving up till the bitter end.
I mean, their setup worked exactly as intended. It was just that last throw into the end zone that was the problem for them. And we've got Szczepanik. Finds Juraszek, who puts up a big shot to a streaking Szczepanik, who calls a timeout.
Just as the energy levels were rising, I could really feel the buzz of the people on the sideline. The energy on the pitch was just starting to increase after that turnover. Leftovers working it up that right side of the field and taking a timeout.
And Shen still
this end zone play, because they are about 7 meters away from the pitch, also known as the red zone. So see what they can draw up.
Yeah, perhaps seeing what happened to Cesky, not wanting a repeat of that inability to put the last pass into the box.
If you were the coach of leftovers here in the field position, drawing something up, what would you give them?
I mean, I do love an ISO play, so I would probably look to set up an ISO outside of the end zone. But I'm not sure what they like to do on an end zone. We will see what they do, and we will see how it works. So it looks like Sesquidistus have they've had their talk, they know what they're going to do, or at least maybe they have a couple of contingency plans. So we'll see what check formation is drawn up.
Leftovers setting up with 5 in the end zone, pretty good spacing, and 1 in the handler space. Sesquidistus, strong flick force, everyone set up on one side, so the force has a big job trying to contain the entire break side. As he ticks us in, 3, 2, 1, Discus in play, cut from the back, and they just beat them to the front corner.
Oh no. I mean, fantastic cut. I mean, I was expecting an up the line shot immediately, but no, she had the legs, she had the moves to get open under, but just unfortunately not able to complete that, that catch. Big floater goes up. It looks like she's got position, and indeed she does. That's Kutna looking for a dump, and she's got one.
Some type of a call on the pitch.
It's like she's got position, and indeed she does.
Oh gosh.
Spicy throw, not being able to be held onto.
Yeah, it looks like the disc is just doesn't want to be caught today.
Yeah, got a bit too much heat on it. It's getting a bit hot.
So we've got number 8 on number 8 here. Oh no, he's got another number. Oh, beautiful break to Shen. Oh, goes for the under, batted away. Bit of a poach on the dump there. Gets the under off to Shapanik. Kutna looking upfield for a second and then chooses to dump it back.
Just
and another turn.
Bobble there in the hands. It was there and just then it wasn't.
Yeah. And Salan looks off the break. Wow, double coverage there. And I mean, that's the only option there, really. A bit of a miscommunication on the defense. Monet is all alone, but not quite on the in the end zone, rather. So we will have yet another timeout, and we're only 10 minutes into this game.
Yet another timeout.
And
From here, I thought that was
looks
a
off the
certain
break.
goal, but it'll see here,
Wow,
Discus
double
fronting,
coverage
2
there,
leftovers
and
there, crashing
I mean,
hard,
that's the only
leaving
option there,
the
really.
streaking number 6
A bit of a
there,
miscommunication on the defense.
wrong
Monet
line,
is
immediately walks back, calls the timeline. That's a surprising move for myself, especially with no force and teammates streaking deep, you know. But we'll see what they come up with. They're going to have a talk about it. They were in a similar position before and led to a turnover with the layout from leftovers. So maybe we'll see what they drop this time.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, maybe he looked around, saw the situation, saw that there weren't that many Cesky players kind of coming up and thought, you know, there've been 8 turnovers in this point now. Let's not make it 9. Let's make this a goal. I'm doing the stats, so just undo that. So it looks like Cesky have decided what they are going to do. And quite a similar setup. Very classic setup. I would be expecting an up-line cut from Al-Salah, but it could also be front of stack, who knows?
We had leftovers setting up in the with the back of stack cut.
So we're in, and just a simple classic ISO play. Monet able to get free up the line in the space, and a score to another lengthy point.
Yep, a little two-person game there, and you're right, the cut coming from the handler, worked it between themselves and put it in for the score.
So we'll see it again here. Just a little pop.
So we're in.
Straight back to him.
And just
Lovely
a simple classic.
Had his defender leaning over and right there for the pop pass.
So one apiece. We've had 18 turnovers so far in this game, and we are 13 minutes in. So more than one per minute.
I guess that's first game of the day, that really. I wonder who's going to be the first team to really wake up and get it going, saying, hey, I know it is the first game early, but we are at a competition and this is a very important match. So really looking for someone to grab the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early days in terms of points and time, so a lot of time for both teams to kind of get it together, as we see leftovers coming out in a very deep horizontal stack, a lot of under space for them to attack. Oh, and it just will sail over the hands of the intended receiver, and Sesquidistus with a chance to break. Setting up in a more vertical look to reflect the fact they're quite near the end zone. Still count rising. Manages to find Brew. Brew back to Wagentrutz. Gets the round. It's a floaty one, but well caught. Oh, looks off. Couple of feet outside the end zone now. Steps out. Finds the score, and that is an early break for Sesquidistus.
And that's John Kofi there with a great grab under pressure. There was a left paw clawing at the disc there, but he remains cool, calm, collected, and a clap catch for the score.
Gets the round. It's a floaty one, but well caught.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can see
Couple of feet outside.
Ella
So
stepping
now
out.
steps
Some
out.
excellent footwork so far.
Finds
We've
the
seen by
score.
Cesky just getting free in those tight spaces. So that's now 2-1 to Sesky.
The French really starting to find their form in that last point. Their offense looking good. Let's see what this D-line here can bring.
So it looks like Cesky sharpening up maybe a little bit faster than leftovers, who will need to put in a bit of a shift now. Big rolling pull from René. Leftovers setting up in their horizontal stack once more. He's got Gladish under. Brandstetter again. Nice IO shot, gets it back immediately from Gladish. Shot to the end zone, collected. And that is another leftovers point.
Leftover saying to the French, I see your clean offense and I raise you some clean offense. This was moving very nicely
again.
there. Cuts coming underneath, cuts coming from the back.
Nice IO shot, gets it back immediately from Gladish.
Gorgeous
Shot to the end zone, collected.
Beautiful ultimate on a beautiful day. Can't ask for much more than that, really,
Yeah,
can you?
really not much more you can ask for.
The game once again hanging in the balance.
A little bit of a chant there. Big pull incoming from Jurek. Fielded. Side stack look from Cesky again.
heavy poach in the lane there.
Yeah, I mean, he had Antoine completely free. There we go, hits her. Ansela trying to get free, and a bit of a last-second iron shot to Monet. It comes off beautifully. Tessier all alone in the end zone, and Leftovers just not really able to answer this deep game from Cesky Discus.
What a gunslinger he is. He was working hard, multiple moves, multiple cuts to jink and jive. Eventually gets free with a high stalled option, catches it with no hesitation, wangs it deep for the Sesquidistus score.
Ansela trying to get free, and a bit of a last-second iron shot to Monet. It comes off beautifully. Tessier all alone in the end zone.
And we see there the offense working as it should. You know, objective of the game, score more goals than the other team. They did that one pretty efficiently, pretty effectively.
So we do have some Sesqui players who are fixing the scoreboard to reflect. Yes, it is 3-2. I'm not going bananas. All right, Leftovers sticking with their horizontal, leaving lots of under space. Oh, run through D attempt.
And just an overthrow there.
So Leftovers did find their groove with a cleaner hold, and then it looks like some of these errors are starting to creep back in. A lot of pressure. Oh, it's a huge throw. Oh, but intercepted.
Turnovers started to creep back into this game. Oh. Big disc goes up. Who's going to come down with him? Fantastic box out, but just boxed himself out of the space as well with that movement.
Yep, it looked like Brandstetter there was so focused on making sure he kept the line that he wasn't quite able to read the disc. And so Michon managed, I suppose, also keeping his own line to force a misread as well.
Someone needs to get back in the library.
Yes, well, it's a bit early for that on a Sunday. I'm not sure the libraries will be open. Saint-Jean once again getting under, but Brandstetter in the lane. Cutters very deep for Sesquidistus at the moment, with René on the sideline. He's got two players under. Ella collects. Finds Brew. He's got Mondays deep, but oh, there we go. After a couple of hops, René collects. Oh, Hoffman was streaking deep free, but they're making themselves work very hard at the moment, this French team. Oh, high disc collected by Saint-Jean. Shot through the middle, moving the disc very fast now. Brew. Looking for her dump. Not a lot of dump movement. High release break to Ella. Very deep vertical stack once again. And a big blade just coming in too steep and too fast. I think she must have been on a high stall situation. So turning into another longish point, I think, here. So Leftovers. They've got their first cut. Brandstetter, so reliable. Once again, getting free, getting the disc. Zhelezhna. Oh, bobbled, but hung on to. Up the line cut. And it's this end zone. Something is going on with the wind, just making it very, very difficult for Batajek to get that disc out to his teammate. So
up the line cut.
Once again, Sesqui on offense.
Yeah, number 5 there.
End zone, something
really explosive player, been getting up the lines all day, been working really well for him, but just the execution on the throws seems to be lacking for the time being. Maybe going to holster it in and get something moving for his team. You see Kofi there holster the big look, keeps the disc moving.
Brew on the sideline. Oh, she wants the big lick. Opts for the under instead. Keeping the disc moving laterally, and there's the big look. Oh, incredible bid! God, he looks exhausted from that effort, just lying on the floor. Oh, but maybe there is an injury call. That was certainly a valiant effort to try and keep that disc alive. There's some players on the sideline with their hands up already, volunteering to get on the pitch. Cedric Wagentrutz very keen to get on the pitch.
Leftovers also making a substitution there. Has been a long point.
So we will have Leftovers back on offense. Oh, low collected by Brandstetter. Oh, he had an open under, chooses instead to launch it deep, and that's got to be frustrating for Železná, because she was very free under, but instead went for the, I mean, to be fair, I mean, Gladish was also very free, but yeah, hucks, some of them have been coming off very nicely for Cesky, but I don't think Leftovers have had much success with weighting them so far.
The look I just saw Železná give, if looks could kill.
Well, they do need him for the rest of the game. So low disc collected. Gets the round break. It's very high. Not a problem for Ancelin.
Females switching in the stack for Leftovers, communicating very effectively.
Saint-Jean cutting from the second in the stack behind Ancelin. Bru trying to help him out. The stall count must be getting very high, and an absolute belter of a throw. But it's tipped out of the way by the number 14 shirt.
Absolutely stifling defense there from the French, pushing them all the way back to their own end zone, forcing the high stall. Look, as high stall looks go, that was
in the stack
a pretty good one. There was a nice jump on the disc.
Trying to help him out. The stall count must be getting very high, and an absolute belter of a throw.
Yeah, it seems like there's potentially a foul call on the throw and also on the reception. So we'll see. So there's a contested foul here. All right, no, they're just mirroring the hand signals. Okay, so a contested foul. It will go back to the thrower. And it will be coming in, I believe, maximum stalling 6.
The higher the stall, the funkier the situation. Anything could happen.
I mean, he's got 4 whole seconds. That's a lot of time. So we'll see if the Leftovers defense can keep up the intensity for just 4 more seconds. Oh, hard cut from Ancelin across the front. And a big shot goes up to Hoffmann. It's floating, but she doesn't have position, and it's grabbed by Leftovers, who immediately look to Brandstetter. On disc now. Oof. He had Železná under, but instead, oh, what an incredible bid! And right in front of the camera too! Oh, and a pit call is going to give us all a tiny bit of breathing space.
When I get home, I'm going to tell my mum lie. That was incredible. It was floating. I thought for certain would have been a turnover, but she said, no, not today. Brandstetter up the line, past the bidding French, and a goal for Železná. There it is. What a point, Ali.
I mean, it would have been unfair if that play had not resulted in a goal being scored. That was an absolutely incredible bid to keep the disc alive, and it looks like we don't have it on the replay, unfortunately, but it's an equally fabulous up the line cut from Vanstetter. Valiant bid from Cesky to keep it alive, and then Zelezna all alone in the end zone.
Yeah, Zelezna deserving that one after getting free so many times for her team, under and deep. She's really getting anywhere she wants in this game and finally gets in the end zone.
Oh, so 3 apiece. We're almost half an hour into this game, so it's been a real slog, some of these points.
Under,
we will see
instead
what Cesky brings
what an incredible
how they're going to react to what is bound to be an amped up leftovers defense after
and a
that
pick call is going to give us all a tiny bit of breathing space.
When I get home, it certainly would have been a turnover.
Oh, this is the type of
But
time I see you. I'm
not
gonna beat you
today.
there.
Batter up the line,
Definitely.
past the bidding
So relatively
press,
short
and
point.
a goal for
Looks like it's
Zelezny.
almost at halfway.
There it is. What a
We've
point,
got Tessier
Alan.
picking
I
up.
mean, it
Nothing
would have been
immediate, and dumped back to
unfair
Morse, and
if that
immediately handed
play
back
had
Tessier.
not resulted in a goal being
Under
scored.
to Petito.
That was an absolutely incredible bid.
Big gainer collected with one hand by Antoine.
We don't have it
Knocking
on
on the door of the end zone now.
unfortunately,
Morse.
but it's an equally fabulous up the line cut from Vanstetter.
3
Valiant
handlers
in
back.
from Cesky to keep it alive.
Morse starts to
and
clear
then
out.
Zelezna all alone.
Beautifully weighted. Cut slightly too early. Oh, and an incredible play! Wow! Leftovers are really bringing out these blocks today.
And an
Just a
incredible...
bit of miscommunication there. Shane not completing the cut, but the throw was leading into the space, so it just was there waiting to be poached.
Oh, possibly a little bit too floaty, that throw. And it's a huge put, but it looks like the French player has position. It's going to be a jumble. And it's a clean D, no call.
And a turnover comes
Possibly
out.
a little bit too floaty, though.
Maybe a bit more power on it for the streaking play.
And it's a huge put, but it looks like the French player has position. It's gonna be a jumble.
For sure, and I do think that is now shooting upwind, that throw, so it potentially sat a little bit longer than he realised. So we've got Cesky working hard against this fiery Czech defence. Oh, miscommunication yet again, and a little bit of collision on the sideline. Players not keeping to that 3-metre rule. So we will have another look from leftovers.
It's getting a bit bumpy and grindy out there.
It certainly is. That's, oh my God, a hand block! That was just not the best position for the dump to be in, making it very hard for the thrower, and the mark absolutely capitalised on that and shut the door. Huge put coming up. He's not quite in the end zone. He's off balance, but manages to make the score. Oh my word.
Sesky Discus with the break, starting off with the defense, cat-like reflexes there, mirroring the push-pass attempt for the block, immediately moving up that far side. Bing, bang, bosh, goal. 4-2, 4-3, pardon me, Sesquidistus.
Oh my word. So it's just, neither team are really giving an inch. We say, all right, I see your layout catch, I see your blocks. How about a hand block? You know, how do you like that for breakfast?
How about them apples?
Exactly. So still very much all to play for. Both teams really, really gunning for it. We've only had one break in this game so far by Sesquidistus to put themselves ahead. Aside from that, it has all been holds. So, leftovers, sticking with their horizontal look. Being walked to the sideline. Bradstetter always seems to be that first pass. And a huge put goes up. It's coming in at the right angle. And a beautiful score. Shrader catches that disc despite the sun. And that is as clean as a hold as you could ask for.
I'm sure the coach absolutely loved the way they were playing there. Great execution of the skill, fantastic put, fantastic read, right in the breadbasket, right where the defender couldn't make a play on it.
Always seems to be that first pass.
Very similar
and
to the
a
goal
huge put goes up.
earlier,
It's coming in at the right angle and a beautiful score.
Weaving triangle down with the triangle cut upfield for the look on the same side. Very beautiful offense there.
So we've only had 2 clean holds in this game so far, and both of them have come from the Czech team. So we'll see if Cesky can mirror this and get in some clean O's of their own. I mean, that looked like a training rep, didn't it?
Really and truly, that's exactly how it's meant to be. Leftover saying, check this out.
Oh yes, that one again. So big pull, gonna blade to just that front of the end zone. We've got the French side stack once again. Ancelin finds Petito. Petito to Tessier. Oh, and that's just what they call a stone cold drop, and you can see the frustration there from LaSalle.
Sure, she'd like that one back again.
Yeah, definitely. Just bouncing out of the hands, a bit of nerves, maybe a bit of cold hands. It's not the warmest at the moment. So we've got the Czech D-line now working it very nicely. We've got Štěpánek, but a pick called. Looks like the disc will stay with Štěpánek. A retracted pick seems to be the discussion on the field. But I think because some of the players had stopped because of the call, the disc will be going back to Jurasek. A little bit of discussion about positioning. We've got some outside observers coming in to help out, maybe a little bit of rules clarification. And there we go, we are in. And a big shot goes up, it's low, and it's snagged away.
Game of back line there, and just an overthrow.
Yeah, just maybe Petito got a little bit excited about this opportunity to hold, and we are back with leftovers. Slightly disorganized. They're sharpening up now. Jurasek going deep. It's coming in hot and too hot as it just curves away. Very hard to read as it goes over his head. And Cesky with another chance.
Slightly disorganized. They're sharpening up now. Jurasek going deep.
So
it's
no
coming in hot
and
too hot as it just curves away. Very hard to read as it goes.
Ancelin picking up and shoots a big one. It's going to come down. Oh, and just Antoine had positioning, had completely boxed her player out, but just bounces out of the hands. Maybe enough pressure from Kutner there to just make that catch uncomfortable. And Kutner coming under. Instead, Jurasek gets that dump. It's got Batrati, they're being forced back quite a bit. Batrati on disc now. Really deep in their own end zone now, keeping possession. That's a beautiful space throw, but it's too high for Jurashek. And that's the same half turn. Monet immediately picking up. Tessier. Lacal. Back to Tessier. Very close to the end zone now. Red zone plays coming out. This one is held on to. Oh, wow! Goes to ground, had yellow shirts on both sides of him, but Monet makes the catch.
With a tiny window, she stamps it through in the laying out grab, folding his body in half. This Sesquidiscus match defense is really doing wonders for them. Multiple times
back to
pushing
Tessier.
leftovers into the back of their own end
Very
zone.
close to the end zone now. Red zone plays coming out.
They received multiple turnovers from it.
This one
Loose hold on
round
to.
the corner, lefty through the gap.
Oh,
right hand
wow!
collapsing
Goes
for
to
the goal.
ground, had yellow.
And it's just trading. No team is really kind of picking up the momentum. No team is making an assertive statement. I mean, there's lots of small assertive statements being made even individually by players, I think. But I mean, I couldn't call this either way at the moment. Were I a betting person, I would not want to bet either way. So we are halfway through. I believe we will be approaching the half cap in this point. So we'll have a game either to 7 or to 6. So that throw is going to just land at about the brick mark on the far side of the pitch. Oh no! Bounces off the hands of Železná. Got a chance for Cesky to go for that break and bring that half-time ever closer. We've got Brew in the dump space, but is looked off. Finds number 60 at the front of the stack instead. Oh, wow, intense pressure from, oh, too high. Oh, a lot of macking going on there.
Kofi going up high. Get some fingertips on it, but it popped up with the breeze. The Sesqui match defense once again generating turnovers, but also turning it over themselves. We'll see what leftovers do with it. They send it deep.
Wow! I mean, Swarova has already had one incredible layout in this game. That is such commitment to try and lay out to get the D when she is meters ahead. Oh no, sorry, to get the score even. Gosh. It's too high. Brandstetter with momentum, interception, finds Swarova. Big round, there it is, the equalizer. Safely into the hands of Janska.
Had the end zone entirely to herself, made a big shape going towards the back and just around the corner, beat her to the front corner for the goal.
I'm not sure how much more of this my nerves can take, I'll be honest. This is a lot for first thing in the morning. I can only imagine how the players are feeling. So I believe we will now have a game to, not a game to 6, but we will have half at 6. So this is technically a galaxy point.
Technically a galaxy point to 6-6.
Big round,
I mean,
there it is, the equaliser!
I'll take a technical galaxy.
Safely into the hands of
Take what I can
Janska.
Had the end zone entirely to herself. Made a
we've
big
got
shape going towards the
leftovers, D-line, Cesky, looking to take half with a hold.
pull, stays and bounds at around the halfway mark.
Of course, that's an upwind pull, not the easiest feat at the best of times. Ancelin picking up, immediately finds Antoine. Back to Ancelin. Looks for Antoine again. She's heading towards the end zone, but finds Petitot instead. Petitot, oh, incredible pressure, but manages to hang on to it. Ancelin once again looks to the front of the end zone, puts up a floaty one instead. Tried to peel off from the stack, but Tessier takes the score, and I believe that is half-time.
Tessier winning the foot race there. It was just a floating leading pass. There was enough float to invite pressure from the stack,
Hang
but
on
it
to
was
it.
placed well enough. His man had
Ancelin once again
to be able
looks to the front of the
reel
end
it
zone,
in.
puts up a floaty one instead. Tried to peel off from the stack,
This
but
end
Tessier
zone movement from Cesky, just getting free, that charge, that acceleration in these small spaces is really impressive, and it's something that leftovers have not quite been able to contain as of yet. I think I was wrong in my halftime call, because neither team has circled up. So, are there rules changes on the Sunday? Can't be. It's still in the group stage. So 6-5 to Sesquidistus. We've got a downwind point for leftovers. Lots of loud French sideliners cheering on their teammates, and a zone. Our first zone look in this game, looking like an arrowhead with a pretty flat force, allowing those sideways swings. Leftovers swinging, trying to stretch it deep. They've got end zone Menes Swarova, very deep, trying to stretch that zone and give her team more space in the middle. Brandstetter finds a shot relatively through the middle. Gladish looked like he wanted to try and continue it, but had to make sure the disc was safe in his hands first. Batashek.
The arrowhead flattening up on the sidelines.
It's very, very crowded around the disc. There's a lot of blue and not a lot of yellow. Big force at the moment. Oh gosh! And that is credit to Wagentrutz's big frame, putting that pressure on the smaller Czech player and forcing a high stall, desperation scuba. So Cesky Discus now have a short field time. We've got Bru picking up. Looks upfield for about a second, then dumps it immediately, then gets it straight back from René. René again. Bru and René just playing a little bit of catch at the moment. Oh, that was a nice cut from Ella.
But Brandstetter come through like a Mack truck with the disc looking up, and it doesn't get sent to him.
Oh, nice switch. Brandstetter was coming under, but Cesky managing to make that change.
Leftovers with the second bite of the apple. Sesquidiscus coming back out with their zone. Wagner's on the force. That's a big boy right there. And great toes there to keep disc in possession. But this leftovers team really struggling with the zone. And it generates a turnover for the French. Real close to the end zone in the red zone. Quite central to the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, that was some incredible footwork by Brandstetter, but all for naught, as Bru is going to call a timeout. I think she didn't even pick up the disc there, she just put her hand on it. So we've got a timeout, yet another one near the end zone. The only timeouts we've had so far have been right close up to that end zone space. So I believe I've been told that at 45 minutes the halftime cap goes. So the next point will determine whether half will be at 8, as you would expect. Sorry, it will be at 8 no matter what.
Question
Whoever
for
scores.
you, Ali.
Yes, team.
As we alluded to, the timeout was called before even picking up the disc. Hand on. Would this technically be a spirit timeout
You
for
know,
you?
as soon as the words left my mouth, that's what I thought. But no, I don't think so. I imagine she just kind of did it maybe at an angle. I don't know if we have a replay on that calling the timeout.
Seemingly has
just
been
to ascertain.
this has been a seemingly spirited game from my perspective on these sidelines. You would love to see it.
You certainly do. And just from the glances that I've been seeing across the rest of the tournament, there have been very good spirit scores. I think the lowest I've seen so far is 9. So, yeah, as for the first tournament of the year, there's not a huge amount that we would expect, obviously, in terms of bad spirit from any of these teams. Always nice to see good sportsmanship on a frisbee pitch. So leftovers waiting for Cesky to do their team cheer so they can set up their offense.
Last time they set up with the vert stack and a cut coming from the back, it did generate great look. Let's see if they're going to come back to it or switch it up for something else. Yeah, 2 on Wagneruts there at the front of the end zone, so the rest having to make up the numbers.
A little bit of a frustration for Mernagh there. He throws his hands up and he receives the distance and saying, where are my cups?
The French being pushed backwards now.
Spirals back, has through a little bit of a check.
From the timeout, being right in the red zone, being pushed back into their own territory and a turnover. I'm sure that is not what they had in mind, but leftovers seemingly getting it done. Wins the foot race to the front corner. It was there and then it wasn't. we have 98 for leftovers, just hanging about in the end zone, trying to attract the attention, but 87 for Sesquidistus, really not respecting that deep option, leaving them real free, backing themselves to be able to make the play, leaving a more condensed field for leftovers to work in down here. The zone doing the job of slowing them down, getting to stall 6 and 7 routinely, and forcing throws like that. Great concentration from Brandstetter to reel that one in.
Yeah, he didn't take his eyes off it while it was up in the air. Oh, nice shot through the middle there. Brandstetter, they're working it, they're working it.
Starting to find the gaps in the zone, through the middle again.
Keeping Garnier very active and allowing leftovers to sneak into the end zone, and that was at the end some very excellent zone offense.
Leftovers finding something to in the latter half of that point to allow them to unlock the zone. They're going through the gap in the zone, and a high clap catch for the score. Brandstetter being very talismanic for this team, dare I say. They're going to need him to continue playing well if they're going to win this game. But as it is half-time, they can ruminate on what we've just seen. Perfect time to get a snack or something if you're at home, and we shall see you shortly. There's one with the... Here in the booth with Ali, we are live on YouTube. It's half-time.
Can you not do that? I'm fucking wiping my nose.
Join us live, it's lit.
T, please, can you not post that? Give me some warning next time.
Just go with it.
So we are back with the action here on pitch 1. We have Cesky Discus on disc. And gosh, a short field turn, a short field drop. This is a gift handed to leftovers with a big bow on top. We've got Bartoszek walking calmly towards the disc. This is a big opportunity for leftovers to get the biggest lead this game will have seen so far. Brandstetter gets the disc up the line, dumps back to Gladys.
And a turnover. Turn after turn. I'm slowly drifting.
I mean, that was a golden opportunity, unfortunately squandered. So the French team once again, that looked quite low to the ground, and it's immediately called down by both leftovers players and up by the Cesky Discus player. So we'll see if we can, players look like they'll have a bit of a discussion. Monet, I think, making the argument that he had his fingers underneath it.
Did look quite low to me. Whether or not it was low enough to trim the grass, I do not know. Saying that, it is a rather lovely artificial turf here in Bologna, so not much grass to be trimmed.
Just trimming the plastic.
It's actually not plastic underneath, well, the plastic grass perhaps, but it's not rubber crumb, it's she got some mud in there. Quite a nice pitch, very grippy, very sticky, so it's got quite a fast pitch.
So we're back in action. Looks like it will be up. And another call will stop play. I think it is in fact brown rubber crumb. It does just look like mud.
Yeah, it's a fugazi. It got me indeed. I was thinking, I've had memories of so many artificial trainings going home with the black crumbs, and I saw some brown, I thought, but alas, it was just the colour switch.
Oh, lovely round to Tessier. Finds Petito. Very close to the end down now. Petito giving and immediately going across the front. Marcelin hangs on to the disc. It's got a wide open Monet. And shooting up the line, but opts instead for the offhand, laying out. Not quite in. Tessier at the front of the end zone. Sesquidistus, as we've spoken about before, having that very big acceleration and a cheeky IO from Petito to Marcelin. He spikes the disc to equalize at 7-all.
That inside flick working wonders, worked it up the pitch through their handlers, the two of them coming under, stool rising, then cut coming from the stack across. You see they clear the space, stack, front of stack comes across, and it's a goal.
And again, that's exactly the kind of cut that you practice in training when you do the break mark drill, starting from the open side, running all the way across to the break. It's basically a flat pass forward when you start your cut from that far onto the open side. Beautifully executed. And it looks like we will have a timeout. So time starting to run out in this game. We're an hour in. Games are, of course, 90 minutes. So 2/3 through. What do you think your piece of advice right now would be to either team?
After thinking about it for a second, I think it would be trying to increase the energy levels. You know, there's execution maybe at the beginning of the game was a bit wayward, bit errant, but the throws are starting to come in now, the intensity is rising. Yeah, I still think being at Bologna elite invite, I think there's still a few more gears both teams can rise to, and it's just about which team can unlock that. We've had some amazing bids, some amazing plays, but I just think, yeah, there's still room for one team to really buzz about and get it moving. So maybe less tactical, but more so, you know. What's got you laughing, my friend?
We've got Saint-Jean doing a little dance, let's say, around Bru.
Keeping it playful, keeping it joyful. We're here to have fun, ultimately.
That is true. That is very true. So, 7-all. Leftovers setting themselves up. This must be half-time now. I'm very confused about. I think there must have been a timeout when I thought there was half, and now I thought this was half, and this is a timeout. But this must be because possession has changed. So, at least that's a mystery cleared up.
Didn't even have to get into the time machine for it.
Yeah.
And now that the breeze has died down, flag over there in the far corner is no longer breezing. Speaking of scoops, maybe some overheads. If Sesquidistus or either team come out as own again, they might be an option. And who doesn't love a hammer or a scoop? I mean, come on.
For sure, for sure. So, Cesky, who have just taken half and are now coming out on offense.
Leftovers coming out with a zone of their own. It's a 2-3-2. Denying anything middle, looking to get Sesquidistus swinging and moving backwards. It's effective, a crash in there.
Lots of little pop passes between Monet and Salin. Gets a swing off across the field to Tessier. Tessier finds Shen.
Moving it quickly, working it laterally and forward.
He's got Monet all the way open on the side of the field, but it would be a throw across many yellow shirts. Oh, fakes the high release.
Crisp fakes at that as well.
Lots of very decisive fakes, just getting those little passes off, keeping that cup moving, making sure they can't get comfortable.
But that movement that was working so well earlier has seemed to have stopped and picked back up again, just as I say that.
Leftovers still in their cup.
All the way to their end zone.
Oh, and a little bit of an overthrow, but chased down by Monet. Monet back to Antoine. Antoine across the field, Tessier. Tessier looking for Antoine up the line. Instead dumps back to Monet, who thinks about the swing, but instead gives it right back to Tessier. Tessier. Shen.
Little shuffle in there for an extra few centimetres.
Shen looking very crowded in front of her, but finds Antoine in what must have been a high stall situation. Monet, it's a score, and there seems to be a little bit of confusion, maybe a call.
Two Sesquidiscus hands went immediately up, looks from the leftovers as if perhaps not, discussion about it, and then leftovers hands go up signalling the goal there.
So we have Valterova, I think, who called it a goal. But yeah, Cesky now 2 points ahead in this game. They're looking to take the top of this pool and move on further up through the stages of this tournament. What do you think needs to happen from leftovers to stop this tide?
Well, they need a hold here. Their offense with the triangular mirroring patterns was working so well for them earlier, maybe coming back out in that. And I do see Brandstetter back on the pitch, real key for that offensive system working. So I think a clean hold here would put them, in good stead. I was surprised to see the defense there staying in that zone set all the way into their end zone, and dare I say very Japan-esque.
Yes, I think there are quite a few teams which, instead of switching to match near the end zone, because of those confusions that can occur once you switch from zone to match, there can be miscommunications, players cannot be picked up on, and of course that's much more dangerous when you're all in the end zone. A score can happen. So keeping in a zone formation is, you know, often effective. So we'll see if Cesky are still setting up in their zone. It looks like they've transitioned back to match, and a huge put going up. It's beautifully weighted. It's not quite a goal. Železna finds Brandstetter, and it's another gorgeous textbook score.
Brandstetter with the initiating cut underneath in a zipper formation like they've done so many times before, drawing extra help. Unlike before, not getting the disc, instead choosing to loz it deep to Železna. I thought it was a goal, but she's right there on the end zone line. Efficient offense, right as it's planned, right as it's drawn up, leading to a 2-pass goal. You can't really ask for much more than that, can you?
You really can't, you really can't. And I think that's an indication that even though they conceded you know, a break, they went 2 points down, Leftovers are still very much in it. They would still very much like to win this game, and they are going to do so in clean fashion. Big floaty pull. It's going to, I'm not sure if it landed out of bounds or if it bounced out of bounds. Looks like it bounced out of bounds, so Ancelin. He's looking for Petito. Oh gosh, too far out in front of a diving Tessier. Big opportunity for Leftovers here. Trying to get into formation, and a
marking violation perhaps?
Yep, looks like it. I think potentially a straddle, and we'll see that bid again. Wow, what an effort from Tessier.
Really putting their body on the line for the team, but couldn't quite reel it in.
So having a bit of a discussion. I think that was maybe meant to be a hand slap that was half a handshake.
Yeah, and I saw there just coming in on 0, so a fresh stall.
Oh, and bounces out of the hands of Jurashek. Disc is still going. Looks like Gladish was going to try and stop it if it was not on its own. And we're back at the halfway point. Antoine. Looking upfield. Oh, beautiful movement by Monet. Upline and then jinking backwards.
Lovely agility there.
Oh, breaks round to Ancelin, who gives it straight back. This is lovely movement. Oh, gosh, bit of contact there. Kutna, I think, trying to go for a layout and the legs getting tangled. Both players will sit on the floor.
A bit of contact and a little bit more. Tried coming round the back there.
Oh.
I think was about to get position, and then the contact occurred.
But it's a turnover.
But everyone's back up on their feet and the turnover stands.
Gosh, that's exciting. Wow, and great spirit from both players. I'm guessing they decided it didn't affect the play.
Callahan!
Oh my God!
Sesquidiscus read him like a book. Are you kidding me?
Wow. That was possibly one of the most casual Callahans I've ever seen. It looked like he was baiting that. Oh my word. What a turn up for Cesky Discus. Just pulling that out of the bag. Wow. I can't wait to see this again. Just kind of jogging off a little bit, and yep, that. Oh.
There the disc just dies in the wind, in the breeze. It was a great force, having to look to the second and third options. coming back around, and it's just there waiting. Not much else really could have been done in that situation, but a Callahan nonetheless.
Yeah, yeah. A Callahan's a Callahan. I think, yeah, it's unfortunate. Just a little bit too much outside-in angle on that disc meant that it was never going to get to its intended target without Al-Salah being able to make a play on it.
I think you can give the assist to the force there.
Certainly.
What a pull this is, putting them back in their own end zone and a big rundown.
French on the sideline saying it is super cool as Brandstätter finds number 33 shirt and with momentum puts it deep to the end zone, and Schrader, as she has done so many times before, catches it in the end zone. Again, beautiful textbook Czech offense.
This leftovers offense is not leaving much over in my soul. It's absolutely glorious. It's a different look to the concepts they were running before, but it's flowing side and side. They've got some big cuts moving, and every pass, separation, disc goes up, inflow, separation. This is a beautiful offense from leftovers.
Oh, and Swarova just saying hello to the fence at the back of the pitch there, as she was right near the back of the end zone, but thankfully able to slow down enough in time. So we're within one. Sesquidistus looking to try and put some distance between them and leftovers, but running out of time to do it. Only about 15 minutes left in this game. So we've got Železná with the pull at about the brick mark. Dumps to Monet. Monet to Antoine. Doesn't like Petiteux's option in the middle, instead opts for Monet up the line. Big pivot from Monet to Al-Salah. Al-Salah dumps it off to Antoine, who yanks it from behind her, and that's an equally clean hold. Lacalle with the score there. It's a different style to leftovers, but
equally effective.
Look at Lacalle just holding the disc to her chest there, clutching it, just making sure that it is indeed a score.
Yeah, Cesky Discus setting up in more of a side stack with one person not even in the lane, more so on the page, a lot of space to work with, and then big up the line, comes back the other way, breaks the force, number 7 there with the disc, reads it, gives it, goal.
Yeah, and we have had quite a lot of, you know, overthrows, maybe misjudging the throws. The wind, I think, is starting to become acclimatized to by these teams, because the last, you know, couple of points we've seen, the throws have been directly into the bread basket for play, or, you know, beautifully out into space for players to run onto. Yeah, some really lovely ultimate happening really in front of your eyes right now.
Getting dialed in as the natural rhythms of the day starting to progress as a team as well. Those neurons really starting to fire, people waking up. It is a glorious morning here, and the sun is shining. Nowhere I'd rather be, to be honest with you.
And it's another pull that's going to hang for a long time. Leftovers setting up in, once again, their horizontal stack.
Cesky Discus back in their zone.
Well, it's been working for them before, so why not? They've got 4-ish handlers back at this point.
Leftovers still with the very deep player, making a 6v6 matchup, but also anything in the end zone, there's already a defender in the way.
Getting a little bit of momentum now. Batajek to Brandstätter.
Finding a bit of a soft spot in that zone there.
Preussel.
Brandstätter.
Oh, fakes a big one.
Got to keep him honest.
But swings across instead. Batajek. Back to Brandstätter.
Taking more time, really surveying the field now, really taking charge and quarterbacking this.
So we had quite a flat force from Cesky before. Now looks like they're picking aside a bit more and trying to make those horizontal passes a bit harder. Oh, dicey one there, but able to be held onto by Preussel. Back to Shek again. It's got Brandstätter, but Bru is on him. Wings working hard to make these upfield passes much more difficult. Leftovers being pushed back now. Finds in the middle. But then not much in the way of continuation until Brandstätter finds some space. Once again, Swarova is in that end zone, just making sure that there is space in the middle that can be attacked. And they're off to the races now. They're through the cup. Brandstätter in the middle.
Gets the assist. Some lovely zone offense there. Patient, at times getting high stalls, but that's what the zone is supposed to do. But staying cool, calm and collected. And for me, what really broke that open was that deep kind of the end zone coming across laterally underneath, and Brandstätter finding her through there really opens up the rest of the space.
Absolutely, and I think also shout out to Swarova for being in that end zone and making sure that that deep was kind of having to hang back, which meant that that cut from Janska across the middle was then able to be an option, because she'd opened up that space.
Yeah, that second layer. In that first layer, you've got the handlers, you've got the zone, a lot of bodies there. And in the third layer, you've got the, well, third layer and end zone, you've got the deep, cross-matched with a end zone attacker, almost like a decoy, opening up that second layer for a lot of space. And that was a great cut to utilize that space and find to unlock the goal.
So, still within one, Sesquidistus with a very spread out offense, giving themselves a lot of space.
And an undercut, read it like a book, spying that offensive pass and gets a turnover for their team.
That's an incredible poach D from Anna Voltarova. Oh, but squandered! Sesquidistus back on offense.
Red zone turnover, not ideal at all. A chance for the hold for the French.
So all the players have filtered through now. They've set back up. There's a poach on the dump. We've got Ancelin, finds Antoine, not quite in the end zone. High release, and there it is. It's 11-9. And it looks like Leftovers are just not capitalizing on their chances.
Yeah, they did well to generate a turnover there, but just 2 passes later, it's another turnover and in a worse field position.
I think those field positions have really been biting Leftovers in the proverbial, because there have been a lot of short field turns that have given Sesquidistus that opportunity to, just have a couple of passes and they're in. And we've seen how vicious and how dangerous those end zone cuts from them have been, getting open in those small spaces. So Leftovers making it much harder on themselves, much easier on the French.
And Leftovers routinely winning the one-on-one foot race there as well.
Yeah, definitely. So past the 80-minute mark, we've got 10 minutes left. I think it may be a game to 12, but I've been wrong before about time caps and so on, so we'll leave that as conjecture for now. Hello to everybody watching at home on YouTube. If you are not subscribed already, do consider hitting the subscribe button, ringing the bell, leaving a like, doing all that good stuff, which helps us to bring you more ultimate content live from all over the world. So it looks like a lot of poaches on the handlers. Not a problem for leftovers, making great use of that space. Couple of players on Panstetter at the moment. Flow has stopped a bit, and it looks like there's another violation called. Maybe a double team would be my guess.
Leftovers remaining more matched up from my perspective. A cross match on the mark. We see Kofi there, looks in prime position either to be poaching in the lane or to jump on that.
To swing instead to Bartoszek, finds Brandstetter again.
Very active force there from Kofi.
It's a nice round break, so I don't think it affected that throw to Preusel.
And I see 22 there rolling his ankle, maybe turning it ever so slightly on that catch.
Brandstetter cutting from the front of the stack, finding that space as he always does.
Backhand force.
Preusel once again. Oh my word, that throw looked like it was just too floaty, and Preusel throws his hat on the floor in frustration and disappointment at himself, as at least it is not a short field turnover, and there are plenty of opportunities for them to get a D on the French. We'll see it again here. It's a great D by René, just managing to get in between.
The disc in the dirt leading dejection from the players. And a timeout called in that front corner, well, in the end, front far corner end zone, right on the front line.
So timeout has been called. Now, personally, calling a timeout on your opposition's end zone, I've seen it end badly many times. What's your take, T, on those kind of calls?
Depends how confident you are. Maybe just think, yeah, need to draw something up, but also gives the defense a chance. We've already seen a Callahan already today. Maybe it puts you in prime position to set you up for another Callahan.
Okay, I think we're going to show you a little ad break now, so we'll be back in just a moment.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
work
work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back. We have Sesquidistus setting up. Looks like a fairly vertical setup.
Side stack.
Oh no,
very
yeah.
Shallow side stack, but with number 35 there, isolated. Leftovers with some heavy poachers, really just leaving the side stack. Oh, it's on the opposite side of the field, so if anything goes up, they're in prime position. So it's really a quadruple coverage on 35 there. It's just in a box by herself. Let's see if she can make some magic happen.
I think that's a pretty big ask of anyone. Instead,
disc goes up, really uncorks and wide here. Jump ball in best position and red by number 15 there for leftovers. Let's see if we get the chance for the break.
So, as can happen, it was a time over, a turnover straight out of the timeout, and a big rip answering back. Who's got position?
15 reads it, and then the little pop pass for Zhelezhna. First one there, tracking it all the way. Knew the disc wasn't there for her, but goes with the teammate as backup and gets the goal.
So that is a hold, not a clean hold, but a hold nonetheless for leftovers, and that is what they desperately need to remain in this game.
Yep, 11-10, as we'll see it here. Looks, same third, doesn't matter. The receiver was behind when the disc went up, but that's just complete trust in your teammates, and it paid dividends for him with a goal.
Yeah, and what an incredible put from Gladys. Just seeing the opportunity, he saw Bartoszek going deep and was like, yeah, I think I can hit that, and hit it he did. And then, of course, Železná just keeping pace and outpacing her defender to get into the right space.
The game is within one, still all to play for.
So, anything can still happen. Now, the winner of this game will be the top of the group.
And speaking of the group, we've just got some results for you from the other games of the group. Monkey 11-10 catch up. Disconnect 10-10 later. Disc goes up.
It's a floater and batted out of the sky by Szczepanik. This is a big opportunity for Leftovers. They need to convert this in order to stay in the game and be in with a chance of winning. But they have a lot of field to cover. Big up-line shot, safely caught with momentum, and a big flick goes up. Oh,
better read by Sesquidistus. Hard throw, that upwind inside flick right to where the defender was. It does have the chance to go over to be a great throw, but in these conditions it just wasn't there.
Yeah, great read from the Sesquidistus player. And we're seeing an exact repeat of what happened earlier on in the point. The under, but this time the deep shot does go. He's really putting on, but it's too far out in front for Ancelin. And so Leftovers have another chance, another opportunity to equalize and make this a potential universe situation.
Yeah, really having to dig deep there. Double pumped it, maybe affecting the accuracy of the throw. But he really wanted it, and it was just slightly too far.
So no longer in their horizontal setup, we've got a vertical look from Leftovers. A little bit of communication, the stack moves under. It's hard to tell which direction the wind is going in. Well caught by Szczepanik. Gets it off to Železná. Železná back to Szczepanik. Gladys. Big gainer under. Szczepanik is working very hard. Batrity. Big
lovely
round.
break.
Some fantastic breaks. And it's an IO break. It's going up.
Jump ball, climbs the ladder. Only one there for the goal. And Leftovers run onto the pitch in celebration.
So not the throw that he wanted when it left his hands, but it didn't matter. Kutna had a perfect read on that. And I believe that we now have a game to 12.
11-11. Game to 12. I think that's a universe point.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Oh my word.
What a lovely around backhand break. Inside, pops up to give the defense chance, but it was still well read and still brought in by the Czech.
And she's so happy about that. You can see her throwing the disc up in the air, and a timeout called. I don't know who has called this timeout, but it's definitely a good call. In a universe point situation, you want to make sure that everyone is focused, everyone knows exactly what their job is on O and on D. And you're probably going to want to put your power line on as well, since this is an opportunity to get through to the semis and finals. So it should be an all-star lineup for both teams.
Universe point. Big game moments were made for big game players, looking for someone here to really step up and make a name for yourself.
So it looks like the Czechs are ready a little bit before Sesquidistus, so we will see what they will put out on the line. It looks like we have Matthias Brandstetter, who's been doing absolute bits running for them so far. We've got Železna, who's been such a deep threat. Gladish. Šepanik. I think that is Kutna potentially as well, staying on, as well as some players who have not given us their numbers. And then on the other side, the offensive line of Sesquidistus.
Leftovers signalling female match.
Of course, ratio rule A in effect at this tournament. So we've got Železna going to be pulling for leftovers. And that's a big pull that's going to sail to about the brick mark and roll to be fielded, centered immediately. Nice under to Antoine. They're isolating Tessier in space. Well marked out by Gladish. And Gladish gets the D. Let's see if this defensive check line, oh, it's high, but it's caught under pressure. No under options, no movement. Brandstetter, of course, but there's a foul, I think a push-off called, so it will be going back.
Quite static there from the checks. Number 17 there, Brandstetter, really churning yards, trying to create something out of nothing, and a cool resulting.
Yeah, it did look like there was a little bit of shoulder to shoulder. Ansela perhaps saying that it was, okay, a retracted foul then, retracted foul.
Great communication there from the two teams. Love to see it.
Love
Just
a hand
going to be
signal.
self-checked. Coming in on.
Vertical look. Oh, going for the bigger round.
Great force there, bobbled, and now the disc is going the other way. 35, streaking deep, looks it, holsters, takes the safe option back. The French offense now moving.
So it looks like La Verdure finds Ancelin. Oh,
Cuts coming underneath, goes deep, and it is too far giving. Leftovers another bite off the apple.
there was a little bit of a head nod, a little bit of communication. He saw that Monet had the step and he knew exactly the throw that he wanted to throw. Unfortunately, that was not the throw that came out of his hand. So another golden opportunity for Leftovers to put in this score and take this match.
Brandstetter taking the disc, setting up at a 3-4, quite shallow. Got a deep poach off from Monet. Centres, Callahan country, and it's a turnover as I'm falling out of my seat backwards.
So we've seen how dangerous Sesquidistus are in front of the end zone. We've seen how aggressive their cuts are. We've seen how good they are at getting open in small spaces. Can they, in this high pressure situation, execute as they have been executing all game? Currently, Ancelin with not a lot of options dumps back to Antoine. Antoine looking into the end zone. Great heads up D from Leftovers, working together as a team to shut down all the options. Gets it round to Antoine. She's beaten her to the front cone. Oh, it's
gets
up,
the touch, gets the goal regardless. That is game.
And that is an incredible play, but just not able to get the D. What an exciting end to an incredibly exciting match. Sesquidistus are on to the next stages. Leftovers, unfortunately, will have to console themselves with the fact that there was some excellent plays by them in that game. So we have more ultimate coverage coming to you live here from Bologna. Next up, I do not have it right in front of me. We have Bristol versus Valkyria. Valkyria went on an absolute rampage yesterday, so this should be one to tune into. For Team Wombo, I've been Ali Thomas. Don't go anywhere.
Multi.tv.